Shalom. We the brothers here, Great Millstone, Chicago. First and foremost, like to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and salutations to all you brothers who preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity and in charity. You know, there's a couple of brothers here, Great Millstone, Chicago branch. You know, we just out and about, you know, going about our business. We headed really to a brother crib to go, you know, chill, break bread, relax on the shabath, you know. And we noticed that people just going out about their business, man, and not just people, but our people, Israelites in particular. You know, they don't even realize today is the Sabbath day, and if they do, really don't care, and really, you know, don't even consider, as Isaiah the first chapter says. If you want to grab that, brother, Isaiah 1 and 3. I'm gonna grab this Isaiah 58. You know, because the Lord said if we just acknowledge the Sabbath day, you know, shows you how important the Shabbat is to the Lord. You know, but if your brother got there, you can let it ride.
Isaiah 1 and 3.
Kind.
Isaiah 1 and 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know. My people does not consider.
Exactly. Don't even care, man. You know? Because majority of these people, man, the word being pushed at a massive scale, man. So when the Lord comes, man, it ain't gonna be no, oh, I didn't know. No, man, because his men were out there preaching and teaching, man, and they were telling you the right way, and they was letting you know these things, you know. That the new moon, hey, when the new moon come in, the month get its name from the moon. Hey, let's grab that. Sirach 43. You know? Because, matter of fact, I'll grab it so they can read along. You know? Because the Lord gave us the instructions, man. This is Sirach chapter 43, verse 6. It says, he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feasts, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. What's that? Psalms, I want to say 78. It says, blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time of appointed feast. Roughly paraphrasing. You find that for me, brother Baba Kushai? You know, I'm gonna read verse 6 again. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection, man. So when the moon is perfect, it's at its full moon. And it started to wane down to the new. And the new moon, I'm going to keep going. Because her perfection is the full moon. It says a light that decreaseth in her perfection. You know? So the next phases of the moon counts down to the new moon, which is the dark moon, right? Verse 8. The month is called after her name. The new month is a what? New moon. You know? Did you find that in the book of Psalms, brother? It's Psalms, I believe it's like 78. Blow up the trumpet. Salakia. This is Psalms 81 and 3. It says, blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. The moon determines that. The new moon. That's the beginning of the week. You know, that's the beginning of the month. The new moon is the beginning of the month. You know? So on the first day of the month is a shabath. So the next day you start counting, man. You work. 6 days you work, and on the 7th day you rest. On that 7th day is actually the 8th day on the calendar. So it's that whole cycle all over again. And then you rest. You know, the new moon come in on the 1st, and that determines the Sabbath for that month. So on the 8th day is a Sabbath. On the 15th day is a Sabbath. I believe it's the 22nd day is a Sabbath. You know, so on and so forth. Can we get that in 1 Samuel with King David and Jonathan about the feast? They said what I'm thinking about is unclean, unclean. Salaki, brothers, it's all through the Spirit, you know. He didn't have no set scripture set up. Damn. I know I think it's 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel. First Samuel 20 and start at 5, I believe.
First Samuel 20 and 5. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is a new moon, and I shall not fail to sit with the king and meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field unto the 3rd day at even.
Jump down to 18.
Verse 18. It reads, Then Jonathan said to David, Tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. And when thou hast stayed 3 days, and thou shalt go down quickly, and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself when the business was in hand.
You jump down to 24 now. Because King David and Jonathan, they setting it up like, look, hey, if I do this, you flee. If I do this, you know, if you read the whole entire thing, but we just getting a few key points, you know. Jump down to 24.
Verse 24. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat down to eat meat.
Mm-hmm.
And the king sat upon his seat as at other times.
So remember, so the new moon came. So the king sat at his feet at the feast, right, which it says blow up in the new moon, the solemn feast. So the king sat at the meat. So he went to go eat the feast, man. The new moon feast, right? Go ahead.
I'm gonna read it. This is verse 25. And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan rose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean.
Right. So he's saying he ain't clean. So maybe he killed somebody and he touched a dead body or something. You know what I'm saying? So he unclean or something. So that's why he wasn't there. He didn't think nothing of it that day, right? Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the 2nd day of the month, and David's
that's extrapolation. So whatever situation King David was in, but we know the situation he was hiding. But whatever situation that Saul thought in his head, you know, different many ways that makes a man unclean according to the law. So that's what Saul pictured like, okay, he ain't clean, you know. So he didn't think nothing of it. Had to clear that up and explain it for a nigga to say, see, it didn't say all that. No, it's just using extrapolation, man. Well, go ahead, bro.
It says that David's place was empty, and Saul said unto Jonathan his son, Wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meet, neither yesterday nor today?
Right, so read that 27 again.
Verse 27. And it came to pass on the morrow.
So the new moon that happened, so now it's the morrow. So now it's the next day. Go ahead.
Which was the second day of the month.
So it let you know the new moon is the beginning of the month, man. And you rest on the new moon. Okay. It says the new moon and the shabaths. Okay. You finish that up, bro.
That David's place was empty, and Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meet, neither yesterday nor today. Right,
so now he's saying why he didn't come today either. Because now it's a new day. You see what I'm saying? But they had made the agreement, I believe it was, what, three days? You know, I'm not sure, you know. Go back and, brothers can go back and read that account. But, the scripture always speaks about the new moon and the Sabbath being together because the new moon is the beginning of our Sabbaths, man. That's how we determine the Sabbath for the week. You know? This is 2 Kings 4:23. Just gonna run through a couple. It says, and he said, wherefore wilt thou go to him today? It is neither new moon nor Sabbath. And she said, it shall be well. You see? Nor new moon or Sabbath. You know, holy days, man. A new moon being a high holy day. It says to 1 Chronicles 23:31, and to offer all burnt sacrifices unto Yahweh in the Sabbaths, in the new moons, and on the set feasts by number, according to the order commanded unto them, continually before Yahweh. And certain of our feast days is what? It falls on the Shabath. You know? Set up according to the number. You know? Set by number according to the order. You know?
It was commanded.
Yeah.
It was commanded for us to keep the Shabbat holy. You know, and this is Exodus 35:2. 6 days shall be, 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be to you a holy day, a Sabbath, a Sabbath of rest to the Most High. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death. You know, and there's Jake that out here don't, like the brother brought that scripture, they don't even consider it. You know, you got Jake out here. But you really think about it, you got Jake that came into the truth, and they fall out, go back to the world, and they don't consider it. Like they know when, like, and there's some of them that probably watch us still. Some of them know when the Shabbat, but they don't care. They purchasing on the Shabbat, you know, doing all types of folly on the Shabbat, probably committing adultery on the Shabbat, you know. And that's why it says, the scripture says they're gonna be put to death, because this is an important day. This how important it is to the Most High.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because, for example, say, this is an example, right? Say Sunday is the Shabbat. So, Sunday would mark Salakia. Sunday would mark what? The new moon.
Mm-hmm.
So then it says, count 6 days shall work be done. So when do you start work? The next day. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Mm-hmm. When will the Sabbath be? That 7th day. Which is what? The 8th day again, man. Because that's a full work week. And the Sabbath you rest. So the Sabbath would be boom. Boom. You see? Same thing. And with a moon cycle is what? 28, 29 and a half days. So sometimes you'll get the new moon back to back. And sometimes it'll be a day in between. You know? And that's according to the scriptures. This is, can a brother get that in Amos? It speaks about buying and selling. Fuck, it was just in my head. It got new moon. When will the new moon be gone that we may sell corn? Roughly paraphrasing. But Baba Kushai, grab that.
This is Amos 8:5, saying, when will the new moon be gone that we may sow corn, and the Shabbat that we may set forth wheat?
Exactly, man. So it's letting you know when will the new moon be going that we may sell corn, and the Shabbat that we may sell wheat, man. That goes hand in hand, you know?
Making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit.
Yep. because they wanted to exact their pleasures. Can a brother get that Isaiah 58? I just had it right here. Isaiah 58, 13.
Yeah. Isaiah 58 and 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Shabbat, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Shabbat thy delight, the holy Yahweh honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in Yahweh, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob, thy father, or the mouth of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, spoken.
Yep. To prove the point that I said sometimes it's a day or a day, sometimes it's back to back, and sometimes it's a day in between. This is Nehemiah 13 and but I'm gonna start up verse 15. It says, in those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves and lading asses, as also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. You know, so they were selling things. Goes back to the Amos that we just read, man. But the Lord said, man, hey, if we turn our foot and follow the Sabbath, man, turn our foot from our own ways, you know. I believe it's in the book of Jeremiah, brothers. If y'all can find where the Lord said, if only we keep his Sabbaths, if only we'd have kept his Sabbaths, we'd have been able to be in the land, roughly paraphrasing. This is verse 16. It says, there dwelt men in Tyre, also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, what evil thing is this that ye do and profane the Sabbath day? And the nobles, the leaders, your so-called pastors, your so-called men in prominent positions, who are leading our people astray, as it says in the book of Jeremiah, man. Hey, the blood is going to be on the hands of these guys, man. Hey, the Lord said start at the ancient men. It's going to start at Israel, man. And it's going to start at the ancient men, you so-called fucking leaders of our people, man. All you false prophets, you guys are speaking against the doctrine of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, you know. All you guys that's teaching contrary to this word. It says, verse 18, did not your fathers thus, and did not your fathers thus, and did not our power bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. Why did they lodge out there twice, man? You know? In case it was a Sabbath and the new moon back to back, right after each other. Because sometimes that happens within the cycle, and sometimes it's a day in between. Just like today is Tuesday night, Wednesday. Today is Wednesday afternoon. When the sun go down, you know the Sabbath will be over. And that's the day in between. And then the new moon comes in, man. And that new moon is the start of the new cycle, you know. Did the brother find that in Jeremiah?
Yeah. This is Jeremiah 17:21. Thus saith Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, take heed to yourselves and bear no burden on the Shabbat day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Neither carry forth a burden out of your houses on the Shabbat day, neither do ye any work. But hallow ye the Shabbat day as I commanded your fathers. But they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their neck stiff, that they might not hear, nor receive instruction. And it shall come to pass, if ye diligently hearken unto me, saith Yahweh, to bring in no burden through the gates of the city on the Shabbat day, but hallow the Shabbat day, to do no work therein, then shall there enter into the gates of this city kings and princes, sitting upon thrones, upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, they and their princes, the men of Judah and infants of Jerusalem,
Inhabitants.
and this city shall remain forever. And they shall come from the cities of Judah, and from the places of Jerusalem, and from the land of Benjamin, and from the plain, and from the mountains, and from the south, bringing burnt offerings and sacrifices, and meat offerings and incense, and bringing sacrifices of praise unto the house of Yahweh. But if ye will not hearken unto me to hallow the Shabbat day, and not to bear a burden, even entering in at the gates of Jerusalem on the Shabbat day, then will I kindle a fire in the gates thereof, and it shall devour the places of Jerusalem, and it shall not be quenched.
You know. Hey, and that shows you how important the Sabbath day is to Yahweh Basham Yahushua, man. And it should be that important, or much more important to us. You know? Hey, the scripture says Yahushua is in the temple, man, on the Shabbat day. The temple in heaven. You know? He entered into the Holy of Holies, man. That heavenly temple that he entered into. After the order of Melchizedek. Whom we hoping to enter after. You see? We following him through. You know?
God, scripture talks about following the old paths. This is one of the main big focus on the old paths, keeping the Shabbat.
Yeah. You know? The Sabbath day, yeah, man, it's important, you know? Well, we got any closing scriptures or statements? You know? Hey, so with that, man, hey, we hope you're edified. Until next time, we give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and salutations to all you brothers who preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. You know? So, Lord willing, we'll be back with another lesson soon. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Brother Thumb, Shalom.
Shalom. Ba.